Hello everyone and welcome to Livestream. So thank you for waiting. And yeah, finally we're back here. And like today I have like great news for you because over past 2 days, like on Wednesday after stream and like also yesterday, I've been working on some very nice changes. So yeah, let me show you some updates about trading. So first of all, trading has not going has not been going very well, and that is basically because yesterday I was not trading that much, and today I found some like issue on JP225. So first, let me show you the P&L results on my large account. So here right now we are like sort of in the floating loss, -5, nothing bad because we're like in the trade. But what I found in this setup is that the Oracle price, which is used to, determine the funding rates, is actually not synced with the current price on JP225. So here, for example, you see that the price is 71,660. Which is the current market price on IC markets, and on Hyperliquid, it's the Oracle price is 71,474. So due to this discrepancy, right, we have a very positive funding rate, even though we are like below zero. So maybe I assume that it might be due to, I don't know, like US holiday, that the Oracle pricing are not using external pricings anymore. So I'm going to investigate that and provide more information on that. But yeah, I'm going to provide like very great updates regarding some changes I've been working on for the past 2 days. So let me actually just show you. So here what we have here is I created a control panel, right? So here if I run this app, right, hopefully it should be installed. What I created is a control panel that can manage multiple training bots from a GUI, right, or graphical user interface. So like instead of, if you go to a server, instead of having to turn on your Hedgebot and your training bot separately, right? What I did is that I'm able to like list all the strategies that I have in my strategy folder, and like in theory, if I want to, for example, turn on my EURUSD trading strategy, I can click start. Or like if you want to manage the strategies in detail, what you have here is like you can go to strategy settings, you can edit the strategy settings inside this app, you can edit the trading session, like when it's supposed to trade inside this app. You also have this time zone, and then yeah, like you can turn on the like trading bot, as you're used to, and then the hedge bot, right? So now these two processes run inside this GUI, and they're all being managed like from this thing here. So here you see it's running and running, and then if I want to stop it, right, I can just press and stop, and then as you can see, the process has exited. Right here it's crashed. I have to investigate that. So if you go to manage, right here it's interrupted. Here it's also interrupted. So I guess we don't have like an exception, an except block, to handle that, but both of these scripts stopped. So yeah, we have here like this very simple overview where we have, all these things that we need, and that's great. So now, if you want to add a new strategy, I was thinking about like importing, some files or folders. Like right now, what you have to do is just you have to create a new folder, and that would like create a new strategy here. Some other functions, right? I was thinking, okay, we can like do hide, right? If there are strategies we don't want to trade, we can just hide them and then like show them again. And this is like such just the first no, like my first draft, like to try manage all my strategies from a single GUI, which I can then manage, individually if I want to, check the individual settings. And so yeah, that's basically it. It will still require a lot of testing, but I decided, okay, I will just publish it in the evening. And also like we had some issues, with the training bot. So we had some updates with crashing. So this is actually still an ongoing, like the same issue that we're talking about, right? But here, for example, a member posted some update that it crashed due to an issue, and I have already implemented like many changes and fixes. So let me just quickly summarize, some major changes in the training bot that you guys will have in like today's new release. Um, Okay, let me get some water first, and then let me also like explain to you like what's new, and like so yeah. So we're going to then use this trading strategy or like this control panel to trade in to trade strategies for now, and yeah, hopefully next week we'll have a better trading week because this week has been uh, not so active. But yeah, so here let me just write some points for today. Okay, so let's zoom in. So what are the new things that you can expect like in TradingBot? So there are some major changes in the code, and so when I release a code, I want you to be aware of the changes, because then you'll also understand how the bot works. So the TradingBot now is able to provide two-sided quotes, right? So if you remember on the live stream, right, or like 2 days ago, or 3 days ago when we coded JP225, the spread on JP225 was very large. And because the spread was very large, what meant that we could quote the bid and ask at the same time, which the previous bot was not able to do. And so yeah, so from now on, if you turn just the normal trading bot, right, then the trading bot will be also able to provide two-sided quotes if possible. Another thing is that we removed, REST calls from amend loops. So, when we're providing the bid and ask prices on Hyperliquid, right? So like when we're quoting the bid and ask, there was some REST call, which was basically like a security check that all orders and all amends are, like correct. But that slowed down the amend interval, right? So what we did is like we removed it, we completely moved to WebSockets, and we also moved the signal processing to a separate thread to basically improve speed, right? That's the main thing. How do you avoid toxic flow if you are coding both sides? Well, first of all, you have to like define what toxic flow is. And in this case, even if I quote two sides and just go buy and sell, I don't believe that it would be classified as toxic flow on the broker side, right? This is something like that, like CFD brokers don't like, because most of the time you're trying to exploit their pricing. But in our case, we're just doing normal arbitrage trading Hyperliquid, which is an exchange, which is just an exchange. So there can't be any type of toxic flow here. And if you just hedge on MT5, so MT5 there I assume is no hedge, then they can't also flag you as toxic flow. So toxic flow, like it's common if you like try to exploit your broker, but our intention is not to exploit our MT5 broker. Our intention is to just provide a spread on the Hyperliquid side at good prices. Yeah, we're doing cross exchange, exactly. So nothing wrong with our strategy here. So we try to improve speed here. So we moved signal processing into a separate thread, again to improve speed, right? And like we did a lot of things with the trading bot, but mainly we tried to use my WebSockets and use the REST API occasionally, like in the like control, like in the main loop section, to just check that everything's okay. But that's the main thing for TrainBot. And then we have some updates for the Hedgebot also, right? So we also have the Hedgebot that listens to exposure MT5 and then hedges. I mean, listens to the exposure on Hyperliquid, then hedges on MT5, and let's go back here. And like, what are the new changes? So this was suggested by a member from on my Discord. I think it was Thomas or something, right? He suggested, to use event-based based fill based on user fills on Hyperliquid. which I have implemented. So now it's fully event-based, and then it has like a reconciliation. So it has like a control mechanism to so it has a reconciliation every 15 seconds to double check the exposures between the two platforms, right? So we have like a new version of Hedgebot where the performance execution speed is much faster, and also implements like a reconciliation check, or like just a double check every 15 seconds to measure the exposure between two exchanges. So we have significantly improved like the speed, the fill quality, uh, so we can like more effectively trade our arbitrage strategies. So these are the two major changes, and they're all included in like also this control panel here. Okay, quick question. Do we have to pay for your tool? We have a question in our comments. And yes, so I offer memberships on my website. So as part of the membership, you will gain access to the code, right? So you can then download everything that you see here. Yeah, you'll be able to download everything you see here, and then also like have access to this GUI panel from now on, and you will also gain access to my Discord, community server where we can like discuss strategies and so on, right? So here I discuss the strategies, bugs, issues, and recommendations for improvement on my Discord server. Uh, so this is like an unofficial update, and I will update other people, but I believe that once I hit like 100 active members, I will then, add like one-time fee, which I still have to think about, right? So for now, like the membership will stay the same, but whenever someone joins, like in the future, I will also add like an initial fee besides the monthly fee. Uh, yes, correct, $34 per month. And what balance do you have in your bot that allows you those profits? So if we check like our like two accounts, so on Livestream, I share two accounts, a large one where I'm trying to, you know, make a lot of money on the large account, and then like a small testing account where we're like testing like new strategies and so on. So the testing one has been running like for over like for about a month now. So if you like check the P&L report, right, and go back to the history, so this is like on what started like almost a 10K account, right? And like so far we've made roughly 780 US dollars on this trading account. Uh, so yeah, this one has been going quite well. On the other hand, like the large account, I've been trying like different strategies, and like SP500 has not been performing very well. We've had some losing days, but yeah, so far this one we started last week on Thursday is up 897. Yes, correct, correct. So right now the test account, right, has a balance of 11,800, and for after 1 month we made roughly $700. But of course, right, the performance is yeah. So the performance, does not have to reflect the like the next month or next period. So I can't guarantee that you will have the same results next month. But these are the current yeah, results so far. Public P&L report doesn't show the same. Okay, maybe let's check it out because I am using the public P&L report right now. So this is kind of weird. So if you check like this link, right, this is exactly the same thing that I see. Uh, then we'll have to investigate. Or do you believe that maybe there is a discrepancy between today's results? Okay, then I'll just wait, for for some extra information. And like today we have a question, what's on the agenda today? Yeah, so today we're going to investigate why we are losing money on JP225. For some reason, the Oracle price does not reflect the IC markets price. So even though we bought at a good price, we are paying crazy funding fees on JP225. So on our large account today, we're losing money due to the funding rates. So here you see we've been losing money, and I'm like thinking if we should close a position or if we should like keep it open, right? And I need to do some extra analysis because closing a trade uh, is always a safe bet, right? Than like hoping that things will go well, but I still need to think think about it a little bit. And the main agenda today actually is like over the past 2 days, I've been coding this GUI, which is like a control panel that can start multiple trading bots from a single like control panel. And like for example here, if I want to turn like my SP500 or JP2 strategy, I can for example click on manage. Right here, I can set up the strategy settings that I had to do manually. I have the trading sessions here, and I can like start my trading bots right from this control panel. So now everything's unified in one place. Here, trading bot is running on the left side, hedger is running on the right side, and like I can just stop it when I want to from this single GUI. On here in the overview, I can then see all the strategies that are running. Of course, like on this like development server, I haven't started anything yet, but maybe I will show you an example how to work with this. And so like this is like one of the major changes that I made over the past 2 days when I had my day off. Okay, so here, I mean, 2 days ago it had more data, more training days recorded. I only see 7 training days. That is interesting because maybe try to, like, if I look at the P&L report myself, right? So here you click on P&L report and click on period. Just click on from 25th to the 17th or 18th, right? Oh, the 19th is also missing. Or I have to check why today's period is missing. I'll try to add it today, but it's because the dashboard does not allow me to show the 19th for some reason. Maybe it's just, yeah, I'll check that. But here I have the results for the entire month. And then on the large account, right, if you go to large account, it's the same dashboard. So you and I should have like the same values. And here, if you click on the dashboard here, like this account has only been trading for a week, so not much has been going on here. Yeah, this is the entire history for the large account. So interesting to see what the strategy would do in the bull market, as currently we are in bear and the test account is managing around 8% a month. Well, this strategy like is like delta neutral, right? It doesn't care about the market direction because we're hedging, we're going long and short at the same time. So this strategy ideally does not care about market direction, right? Because again, we're hedging and we're delta neutral. So I'm trying to build a system, that is uncorrelated with the market direction. And so I hope that if we trade this system, for long periods, and like we can then observe the historical P&L, that we can try to correlate if there is some some connection correlation with the market state, whether it's bullish or bearish. Yes, correct. Last comment actually has the most sense. So I see that when volatility is high, I see more pricing discrepancies, and so yeah, then the profits I would assume are much better during higher volatility. So, but yeah, so we will have to see, right, based on the current market state, and yeah, that's it. So another question, so explain why is Meta 35 years doesn't it take the same trades on the same size on both, right? So MT5 is used like to hedge the position Hyperliquid, right? So on Hyperliquid, we're trying to add liquidity and like buy and sell at good prices. And MT5 is, this MT5 is basically, just a tool to hedge our exposure, right? Because the pricing is, like the spread here is quite cheap, so we can trade very cheaply intraday, and also they provide good leverage. So the leverage is also like very important because we want to like maximize our profit. So these are the two main reasons. But of course, feel free to use any other platform. You can do it on Interactive Brokers or any other broker that provides contracts for differences. So I think contracts for differences are probably the best tools that you can use to hedge with Hyperliquid. By the way, keep up the good work. Love watching you while working. Thank you, thank you. Uh, so I appreciate that you also watch my streams during your work. So yeah, that's great. And like just make sure you don't get caught, right? That's the main that's the main thing. Okay, so today I described like very quickly what we've been doing or like what has been done, and let's like try to actually run some trades today. So here we unified this, so we can you can put it to the right side here. I also rewrote the string bot and hedger. So all these tasks are basically done. The thing about Bollinger backtesting, right? We ended the stream on Wednesday with Bollinger backtests and like try to optimize the strategies. And so I was thinking about it like yesterday, almost the entire day, you know, also while working or during my breaks, that that the Bollinger actually like is a nice tool to have, but in terms of performance, I didn't see actually, you know, better results. Because when like think about it, when you like trade arbitrage, all you're trying to do is to correct the pricing, right? So you always want to buy and sell when price is mispriced, and then close a trade when price moves back to its like fair value. And so the Bollinger, what it does is like it's like used. One second. It's like a nice thing to use when you do like statistical arbitrage, right? Or when you want to compute the fair value between the Oracle and the MT5 price, because sometimes the fair value is not at zero. So it actually helps you estimate like where you should exit using the mean. But for our use cases, I think the best profitable thing to do right now is actually like stay with our old system and just, you know, buy when it's below zero and sell when it's above zero, with some, you know, extra little things to consider, right? Like the funding rates, the swaps on MT5 and so on. But as a rule of thumb, when we're below zero, we will buy. When we're above zero, we're going to sell. And one issue that I have like here with JP225 is that today that's not the case. Somehow the Oracle pricing is a bit weird. So I will investigate with XYZ, which is the like deployer. Maybe like I can, you know, yeah, contact their support, or if they have Discord, I would like to discuss with them, because I also cannot like find the official external pricing, right? If we go to JP225 here, so now we're like discussing how is something exactly priced, because here they say it tracks the JPY index, right? But I don't see any link here. I just assume that the pricing is the same as with like IC markets here, but and that's also true, right? If you look at the historical spread, we see that it does hover around zero. Uh, but for some reason, the Oracle price is off, and that is causing these funding rates. I'm blaming the US holidays. Like, it's not because of the holiday, but because maybe the external pricing is now off, and now Hyperliquid is using the internal pricing to compute the Oracle price to compute the funding rates. That is like my hypothesis, and I will have to check with the XYZ deployer to actually verify that. Do you have some videos tutorials for users to install and test the software as you try it for dollars? Well, I have a very simple tutorial on my website. So there's a guide, you know, how to set it up. And also if you ask on Discord, you know, then someone from my team will help you set it up, right? So either, you know, you go to my website, there is, you know, an article in the strategy section. You click to learn strategy. There you can try to follow this video and like follow this step-by-step process. And like if you need help, just go to Discord, right, and ask one of our members to help you set it up. Yeah, I like the case strategy, so I'll use V1. Yeah, no worries. Like keep it short and simple. If yeah, that's what it is. So I'm also like going to use, yeah, I'm also like moving back from Bollinger. Like we will use Bollinger in some cases. I know exactly know where we can apply the Bollinger strategy. But for now, let's just, you know, focus on the strategy that works, because the performance was actually worse than just using some static levels, right? We can just look at the historical chart, look at discrepancies, and then quote the pricing very easily. So yeah, so let's try to open some trades today, and we'll work with this control panel. I'll show you how to work with it. And then like, yeah, later I will upload the code, and then you guys can try it and then give me your feedback, what you think about it. And just like a disclaimer, a lot of the things here are not like properly tested, right? So I still need to do, you know, some value checks. Like if you go strategy settings and you edit something here, I don't know like if, you know, everything here is, you know, won't won't cause any issues. But the underlying technology and the code is still the same. All we did is just plug in the individual strategies into this GUI, which then opens a sub process, right, or just like a independent process that is then bound to this GUI app, and that's it. So let us start some strategy. So if we go to, if we screen the market here, right, you see that like my USD GPS strategy is already running, and we've been like opening some trades on our remote server. So we can't like trade like USD JPY, but maybe we can like try to look at uh, I was thinking like some FX pairs, right? So we can try Euro USD or even something like GBPUSD, because GBPUSD is very illiquid. Uh, it has only 200,000. So for example, if you are a trader who only has like a few $1,000s, right? I think you could, in theory, apply a very nice strategy on GBP USD. Even though the volume is very low, the return on the strategy would be very high. Yeah, maybe a strat setting balance button. Yes, yes. I was planning to do that too. So like maybe next week, what I'm going to do is you can like allocate like capital in percentages, right? So I want to allocate 10% or 20% of my capital, and then like also set the leverage, right? So based on Hyperliquid leverage, the strategy then can then compute the maximum lot size for that strategy, and then it will deploy the trading bot with that allocated capital. So, and like in theory, if you then use cross margin future, you can like, let's say this strategy is allowed to use up to 50% of my capital. This strategy is allowed to use up to 50% of my capital, and this strategy is allowed to use 50% up to 50% of my capital, right? And like then 50% times 3 is 150%. Of course, you can't open more than 100%. But if two strategies already like use up all your entire margin, it would mean that the third strategy would just wait until some of the margin would release, so it would then continue trading. So we're then trying to, maximize the efficiency of our capital by always, deploying the strategies on some type of market. So, do you have a listener? Yeah, nice, great idea. Stop 100 people asking you for settings on XYZ account value also. Uh, oh yeah, correct. So do you have a listener that waits for Hyperliquid to fill first and immediately submit takeover on MT5? Yes, this is what our MT5 hedger is doing, right? So if you go to our strategy, for example, manage. So on the left side, the string bot is doing the signal processing and sending the limit orders to Hyperliquid. And the right side, this robot is listening to the exposure or the fills on Hyperliquid side. And then when we get a fill, it will then send a market order or a taker order to MT5. So these are the two scripts that like work separately, but together they make up the strategy. Okay, so let's say I want to turn on a strategy on like GBPUSD. Okay, so here GBPUSD has very low volume, so there might be a chance that we might not get filled, but let's just try. And maybe we'll see, right? Maybe we'll improve the liquidity a lot, so maybe we'll also incentivize some traders to trade at our price. And so what do we do? So also like the open interest is 290,000. So there are some people who probably traded. If I look in here in the history, we do see some trades like every maybe few minutes, right? Every few minutes we see a trade. So I think we should get some fills eventually. So how to turn on GBPUSD, right? So here, uh, like we can use our app, right, and then analyze like GBPUSD, right? So it's XYZ. I think it's called GBPUSD or GBP. Uh, let me try GBP and then like we'll confirm. Otherwise, it's GBPUSD, right? So this is we're going to run a strategy on Forex, and here you see that the pricing discrepancies are very, very large, right? They are actually very, very large, which is great for us because again, like we can sell when the discrepancy is high, right? We can, like right now it's very, very high. We can already like run a short strategy here. So what I can do is like I can short it when it's at 002, right? I will short at 002. I can exit at theoretically 0, right? And then I can again buy at 002. Again, there is like no specific reason. It's just like I see on the chart that price was there, and like all these trailing levels are basically profitable for us when we enter like that. And like we can then do some, more thorough analysis. But here, for the sake, of this live stream, I don't want to overcomplicate the strategy. I just want to show you how to set it up. So to set it up, we already defined the strategy rules. So like I haven't made a feature to like import and create new strategies. So unfortunately, what we have to do is we have to go like to our folder and like just copy a new strategy, right? So here I'm going to call this strategy XYZ GBPUSD, right? So here we have our new strategy. I'm going to copy all the files. Oh, I have mentioned that, but like the new train bot is now like being imported from one main file, which is train bot core. So this train bot core has all the code and logic and supplies, the functions and the logic for these separate files. So if you want to like update to a new version of train bot, all you have to do is just upload new train bot core, right? So if I create a new folder and like I might worry that some of the folders may be outdated, now that's not an issue anymore because train bot core contains all the files and logic for a train bot. Okay, so here I created a new like folder with strategy, and here we go to strategy settings. So here we want to trade the XYZ GBP with GBPUSD, and so what we do here is like here we trade forex, so the contract sizes are correct, and like be careful with the leverage, right? And be careful with the contract size, right? Because 1 and 100,000 can be a big difference if you trade, I know, like stocks or like indices, but for forex the ratio is 1 to 100 in almost all cases. And like the leverage can be like quite high, right? I'm not very worried about leverage on forex. Let's set the leverage to 1 to 30, right? Which is quite high already. You could go 1 to 50, but I'm not going to recommend it. So overall leverage on forex can be a bit higher. We can quote like initial volume of, let's say, uh, like based on 10,000, which would be like we are coding the top of book based in mini lots, so it's 0.1, and the maximum exposure on Hyperliquid, let's say, is like 100,000, right? So we're gonna trade up to 100,000 lots, and I believe that the leverage should be enough. What we need is like to open 100,000, in volume on Hyperliquid, right? 100,000. The question is how much margin do we need, right? And like some members, they ask. They ask like, please provide a margin calculator, but it's quite easy. Your position size is going to be 100,000 US dollars, so you divide it by 30 because that's our leverage, and so the margin you need to open the position size is going to 3,300. And let's check, our current margin. It seems like we don't have enough margin. So what it means is that like let's just let this strategy run, right? Or we can close our JP2 to 5 position, right? Like I was saying that like, yeah, I don't like it that much. Right now we're losing money because of the funding rates. So let me close JP2 to 5, and then we can replace that with our other strategy, which is going to be GBPUSD. Or I can use my large account. Like I have a lot of money in a large account. I can close JP2 to 5 here, and yeah, so it seems like the funding rate is sort of decreasing. So I'm not like too worried about now about having bad funding rates. But if you see that like minus 15, minus 10, minus 17, minus 14, minus 19, minus 10, it kind of adds up. Like it adds up to the losses. So now if we like check my current floating P&L on the large account, I'm down minus 75, and that is mainly due to the funding rates, right? But if we close this trade in a realized profit, which definitely can happen, then we're still going to be looking at a profit anyways. So now that the funding rate is not like 50 or 100% anymore, I might just let this position run, and we can deploy the GBPUSD bot on the large account today. So today our testing account is going to be the large account because I'm out of margin here. But first, let me show you how to set it up. Like in this GUI, maybe we can open like very small position size here, right? We still have some money available, so we can open small position sizes, and then we can deploy it on the larger account, the GBPUSD. Does the fee from opening and closing eat into the funding rate? Well, the fees and the funding rate are two separate things, so I don't like understand exactly what you mean by that question. But the fee usually you pay, to open the trade, so that will eat into our profits. And funding rates, I've mentioned that in most cases the funding rate should be positive on our side, right? And there are like a few exceptions. Uh, and like today on JP225, it is actually working against us, right? And I need to investigate that, why that is, because in most cases, as you can see, if you scroll down, I usually always make money on the funding rates. And that is because I always like trade above or below the Oracle price, so I get good funding. But today, the funding rates are kind of like not nice. And again, I think it's because of the US holiday, and like my position size is also like quite big, right? The position value on JP225 right now is 158,000 USDC. That's a very large position. So like in relative scale, being minus, oh, now it disconnected, being minus 75 is not so bad, right? Because if I close this trade in a profit, because my spread, my exit price is 50 points or 50 USD, I will probably make like 110, 120 USD, and I still make a profit on this trade. But assuming the funding rates will, work against me for longer, like for this entire day, I might close at break even or a slight loss. So as I said, like the commission or the fees and the funding rates are two separate things. So you will always lose money on commissions, but the funding rates should like generate extra money in most cases. Today's not the case. Okay, let's continue. Actually, I realized like we can like have a position size of like up to 50K. My small account can actually work with this amount. So here is 50K. And like, so let's look at our analysis in our historical spread. We said that we can sell at 0.02, right? 0.02. So we can do that. So I'm going to do that. So we're going to sell at or buy at minus 0.02. We're going to exit at 0. Then we're going to, do sell entry at 0.02. And then we can again exit at 0. So actually, 0.02 is a lot, right? It is a lot because if you look at the FX precision, right, on GBPUSD, we are like up to like 5 decimal places in precisions. And here, and like to break even, you need to make like 0.001. And we're making like 20 times the amount. So in theory, we can like create a strategy that looks like something like this and it would still be profitable in my opinion. But now because the funding rates are so high, I'm just gonna keep it like this. And like in theory, I could like exit at 0.001, right? So I could like also do something like this where I find a faster exit, and so as a result I can like scalp much faster. But let's leave it in 0 and then see what we do later with it. Okay, maybe like because we have a new version of trading bot, like sorry to explain all of things, but if you're going to down strategy and trade this long term, I think it's better if you like hear that from me, because I've made a lot of new changes over the past 2 days. So I also had to like look into code myself and ask myself, what is this doing? So there is this value called signal hold buffer percentage. So like sometimes my bot was exiting limit orders too early. So let's say like this is like our 2 trading levels, right? So this is going to be like, let's say, sell entry, right? So this is like our sell entry price level, and this is our sell exit, right? So when price drops to this level, we want to exit at this price. And like in theory, let's say like if we apply the strategy on S&P 500 we're trading, we like enter when the spread is 4, and then we exit our sell when the spread goes down to 1. And the thing is, like, when you start quoting like the limit price at the sell entry, right? You want to make sure that the current spread is above 4. So when the signal triggers, usually like when it drops a little bit, it would then cancel the signal, because when you are at top of book, then the current spread also is capped at 4. And so just small changes would then cancel the order. So what I implemented is something called signal hold buffer, that even if we get like a sell signal, and like the price or the spread, like we can like compute the spread drops a bit, right? Here, before it would cancel that, but here we have the new thing which is called the buffer, right? So the buffer is actually a new level where like the signal still holds and we're still quoting our price, and right now it is set to 20%. And 20% of what? 20% of the distance between 1 and 4, right? So this is like the distance, right? So the buffer is 20% of this amount. So this is the buffer. So in this case, when does the signal expire? The signal in this case expires. So this is 3. So what is 3 times 0.2? 3 times 0.2 is 0.6. So it will expire at the value 3.4. So when price drops below this value, then our signal gets cancelled, and like limit price stops quoting, right? So before it would always cancel limit order, and so this ensures that our limit price quotes like stay in the market, so we don't have to like refire a new one, which might then be delayed and not get our fill. So I added like this new logic to add a buffer such that we get a higher chance of getting filled. So that's this new value, and I said 20%. If you want to have better fills and sacrifice if you want to catch the trade, right, for any price, then you can set to 0.3. If you want to guarantee a better price, then I suggest leaving this value lower, right? And like I think 20% is like somewhere in the middle, where it like sort of works for any type of strategy, if you said it like that. So amend interval is the interval at which the limit prices update, right? So if the amend interval is 0.1, it means every 100 milliseconds, if there is a new price on MT5, it will then fire a new quote, right? So you are always quoting like the most recent prices. And here, this is the minimum top of book offset, which is 0.001. So minimum top of book offset, like this is 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 zeros and 1. So this should be correct. So here we have 0.0001. And here we have the liquidation distance. Like this value should be lower because now we're trading Forex. So here our trading strategy will be disabled. And on Forex, the liquidation distances are like, don't have to be like that far away. So let's like, if we are just 0.1 away from liquidation, like on Forex, it's like very low. Let me like try to visualize that on the chart. So we have GBPUSD. So we would have to get liquidated if GBPUSD goes to 1.4, right? So that would be our liquidation distance, which is still kind of low. Like when we're talking about very small values, my brain can understand like large numbers, but fractals are not so nice. So in theory, like if I want to discuss like liquidation distances, so instead of like how far or how close does price have to be to trigger like, okay, this is getting dangerous, I don't want to open any more trades, or I want to start close out my trades. So I think we would do like this amount, which is 0.01 basically. Yeah, that will be our liquidation distance. So 0.01 is our liquidation distance. Okay, so our strategy settings are done, which means, yeah, I think I should add a refresh button to add new strategies here, because right now it just loads, the new files. So here I'm just going to close my control panel. I'm going to restart it. So there are like still some new things that I can like improve, but now I think, yeah, the GBPUSD strategy has been added. I can now go to manage. In theory, I could create like a setting, to create a new folder called XYZ GBPUSD, and then it would like add a template where I can then edit the settings here myself, right? With some template or like preset values. And so yeah, this is the training session. Forex actually doesn't close that early. So in theory, I could like close Forex at 23:30, but let's leave it like this for now. So everything's working here, right? So here, if you want to start a strategy, just click on start both, and then you'll see the trading bot starting and the hedger starting, right? So here, you see that now this like robot is listening to the exposure Hyperliquid and hedge that exposure if we get some trading event, or like, yeah, some fill event. And on the left side, we're just waiting for a new price update so we can start quoting our prices on Hyperliquid. I think on GBP it might take a bit of time. Maybe I can like rewrite the script so it can like start immediately. So yeah, for GBPUSD case, I think I should actually do it, because here it will take sometimes minutes to actually get a new price update. Um, But yeah, this is all you have to do here. We just have to wait until it starts. So in the meantime, actually, I will just, change the settings here. So let me just turn Claude. So we're going to go to bot core, right? So now we're going to edit the files in the training bot core, which provides all the functions and logic to trade the strategies, and these just import training bot core into these folders, so they just trade, whatever we write here. So in training bot core, some symbols take very long to receive a price update. Because of very low liquidity. Therefore, it takes sometimes minutes until trading bot starts, because it is waiting for a price update event. Can we use a REST call to get the first price to initialize the trading bot to start it immediately? So I'm going to do this. So this is like going to be used so we don't have to wait for too long for these price updates. And like what we can also do is like we can also try to start EURUSD to show you an example on this strategy. So right now GBPUSD is running here. The spread is very high, and again, if you have like small amount of capital, like let's say up to $1,000, I think GBPUSD for you is a great symbol to start making money on smaller capital sizes. So all this process is done on localhost. You can also do it on a remote machine, right? So here I have a server. This is like my server where I'm running the large account. So everything is running remotely and it's running 24/7. But on Livestream, I show you on localhost because we develop, we test, and then yeah, I want to show you on my local machine how I'm trading. But ideally, you want to open a VPS because then you can get low latency and like better performance because yeah, these servers are like specially made to, you know, trade with exchanges and brokers. Do you calculate the spread using Hyperliquid's Oracle price versus MT5? No, I'm using the historical price. I'm not sure if it's a mark price, but I'm using the just the bid and ask on Hyperliquid, right? So I'm taking the bid ask snapshots from Hyperliquid, the 1 minute candles, and compare them with MT5. The reason why is that if you compare the Oracle price with MT5, the difference will be flat because the Oracle reflects the real market value and MT5 also reflects the real market value. So Oracle and MT5 would always be the same. So in order to check for pricing discrepancies, you can either check the mark price or just the best bid offer snapshots, right? Okay, so we added you know, these changes. So now if I like restart oh no, now we finally got a price update. So now we are quoting limit prices on GBPUSD. So this is great. So if we look at Hyperliquid now, what you can see here is that this is our limit price. So we're trying to sell because GBPUSD is heavily overvalued on Hyperliquid. Again, look at the spread. The spread on GBPUSD is 0.03, right? It's very high. So we're trying to sell here. And pardon, when we get filled, we then buy on MT5. And again, it might take some time, but every few minutes we see, you know, some trades. So eventually we'll see, you know, some fills and then yeah, we can observe on MT5. So this is like our trading bot running now, right? Here with an overview, we see that XYGBPUSD is running. We also see some statistics. So when we have some trades or open positions, we can monitor them here. And here we have like the general overview. So this control panel is more used like just to manage and control our strategies. I would always like recommend using this dashboard that's available to you. Yeah, the localhost dashboard, which is this one right here with the dashboard for analytical purposes and charts and like calculations. But the control panel is definitely like a very nice tool to manage your strategies. So you can always stop it, you can always change the settings and restart it, and you can always check, you know, the trading bots working here. And like no more like I'm still testing that, so I'm still waiting. Like on the large account, you see that I have like all these scripts running, right? So it will become a pain once you have too many terminals open. So this is definitely a big upgrade for me, at least, you know, that I can manage it from this control panel. So we have another question: is there any option of setting up your algorithm using private VMS by user with full autonomy of tuning? Uh, Yeah, so well, first of all, I provide the entire source code, right? So right now you can, you know, just download my code and change the code if you want in Logic. And like the main customization strategies are defined in strategy settings.py, right? So here you have all the various settings, risk management, entry and exit levels, close only, you know, and so everything you basically need for this strategy you can set up here. And you also have like trading sessions where you can set up like when it should trade and not. And like you can either set them up here using like this interface, or you can like edit them from this Python file, right? In the future, I will then, you know, create an option to like import strategies. So you would then import a folder or configuration files, and then yeah, there's like a lot of customization available for you. So I don't want like guys you to just copy the strategy settings that I have. Of course, it's doable, but I think the most value that you can get is like you find a strategy that's suitable for you, and then you can like try to protect your own edge because you analyze and, you know, trade your own strategy, and no one else can then, yeah, take your edge away. So like that's also a topic that I wanted to eventually discuss. Like, am I going to show all my strategies in live stream? Probably not, right? If I find a very good one, I will keep it for myself or just tell my friends and things like that. I'm just going to trade strategies like that work, have good performance. And so right now I'm just going to like focus on like SP 500 and like other stocks. But if I find something that's very good, I might not tell you, right? For very obvious reasons, because I want to preserve edge. But of course, what I'm going to share with you is definitely going to work. So just so you know. And of course, like I could trade all these little other dexes. So if you want to think about, how you can like maximize the edge on your end, right? Go through all these individual deployers, uh, run the backtest or run the analysis in this historical spread app, see, how the spreads behave in the past, and then try to test a strategy based on the historical data. And like you have all of these symbols available to you that you can like arbitrage yourself. And what we've only touched is maybe like 5 or 10%, right? We've only touched like 5 or 10% of symbols. In my opinion, almost anything that you see here can be traded. So it's basically like up to you to, run your own backtest, your own research, sit down and, just go symbol by symbol and see what you'll find. And then eventually, once you go through all these symbols and you tell yourself, I don't like it that much, everything here is too efficient, then we move to another DEX, right? So that is the moment we then move to another DEX. So once we are done with the Hyperliquid project, we just add another DEX and then another DEX and then another DEX until we have like a portfolio of multiple DEXs, which we can hedge against MT5 or like DEX versus DEX. So this is just something I want to mention, that you will definitely get strategies from me, but if you really want to make money and maximize like the profits for yourself, then you should look for it yourself. I'm just giving you the tools how to spot these things. Question: can multiple DEX share the same wallet? Yeah, I believe so. So it depends on the DEX. So if you go to Astra, for example, right? All of DEXs, they like support like Wallet Connect and Binance Wallet in this case here. So here you can have, okay, MetaMask must definitely be included, right? So you have, if we look at MetaMask, not here. Yeah, but here you see all these wallet integrations that you can try. They also have like exchange connectors, right? So you also have the option to connect through your own exchange. On Hyperliquid, I'm not going to show you here. Maybe I will show you in a analysis window. So if you click on connect on Hyperliquid, you don't have to use email. You can use like MetaMask, right? Binance Wallet, Ledger, uh, and all like these other wallets that you see. So you can definitely use the same wallet to trade on multiple dexes, which might also be like very beneficial to you, right? If you want to effectively like send money between dexes, that's what you can do. So we have Coinbase on Hyperliquid. I'm planning to maybe migrate to Coinbase. But I still have to test their trading conditions, so we'll see. So yeah, as you can see, like we've been trying to add liquidity to GBPUSD here. Still no trade today on GBPUSD, but like we'll just wait and like eventually we'll find, yeah, we'll find a setup. So again, we got one funding rate charge. I need to check JP225. Oh no. So right now we see that we had a very big uptick or like price going up that increased the funding rate. In the last funding rate, we lost $5 again. Yeah, it's kind of painful, right, to trade JP225 right now because the Oracle price is not looking great. But actually, right now the Oracle price doesn't look that bad because Oracle is 850 and the current price is 860. So right now the Oracle and the current market price are about the same, like Oracle market price is the same, which means that the funding rate should probably like decrease very soon, but I need to compute that. So I'm ready to subscribe to a month training bot. Could you share how much capital will I need to earn like $10 per day? Like I can guarantee that. I can only tell you based on historical performance, right? Which is not a guarantee of future performance. So maybe I would divide the result by 2. But if you look at again the P&L over the past, oh yeah, sorry, let's go. Oh, this is the normal dashboard. Fine. Look at the P&L since the start of my strategy. So it's been like 4 weeks now. Of course, the first week has not been very active. So we made $816 in 4 weeks on an 11K account, right? So if you want to make 10 per day, so there are, yeah, you want to make $10 per day. So here, if you divide it, 816 divided by 30, that's like $27 per day, and have an 11K account. So which means you need roughly 10 divided by 27. That's 37. So 11K, 11,000 times 0.37. So based on historical like data, you will need like 4,000 US dollars to make $10 per day, right? And then I don't want to overpromise, right? Maybe I would tell you maybe it's 5, 6, or 8,000, right? In some cases, this week has been like very slow. But again, like if you trade on a smaller account, I'm seeing that quite often, you have higher chances of making consistent profits because you can like focus on symbols with lower liquidity, right? Where the lower capital size is still large enough to maximize the profits on illiquid markets. So let's just say 5,000 to make $10 per day, but that's just an estimate, not a guarantee, right? No promises here. But yeah, you can also like increase the leverage, right? You can like trade much more aggressively. Uh, yeah, we were actually planning to like create. Okay, I can actually work on this one next week. So next week, I think what I'm going to do. Okay, this is basically. I'm just gonna leave it here because it's not completely done. I feel like I want to delete this task, right? Because I want to put Bollinger back actually back on hold. So actually, let's put it in backlog instead. Because I've started working yesterday, and I felt like I wouldn't gain more value from a Bollinger than from my current strategy. So let's just put it back in backlog and we'll look at Bollinger when it's actually practical and beneficial for us. So for next week, I'm going to create an aggressive 1K account and I'm going to trade very high leverage and focus on markets that are very illiquid and see if I can really like push the limits of, maximizing profit, right? So here we're going to trade very aggressively with very high leverage. There's a chance that I might get margin called, right? Which can cause losses and which can cause losses. But so on a large account, we're very conservative, right? We'd be happy with like 30% annual return. On a small account, we can try to like aim for 100% and more. So maybe if I'm able to make like $10 on a 1K account, that'll be crazy, right? If I'm actually able to do that. So yeah, we would have to see if it's impossible to do it. And so yeah, you see that how illiquid the market is, right? We are still quoting our sell limit for the past like 15 minutes. Still no trades, but we just have to No, wait until we get there. A second option how to do it is like we can try to like use taker orders, right? We can try to sweep this entire order book, because even at these prices, probably we could probably arbitrage 323. No, we cannot. So this is quoted exactly at Oracle price. So yeah, we're quoting a good price right now. And there is someone also trying to compete with our top of book price here. Okay, so yeah, this will be the main thing. The Bitcoin cash and carry arbitrage is here. I'll also review it next week. So right now on Bitcoin, we made 22 cents in funding rates. That's our cash and carry example that I've mentioned. And yeah, so I would like still focus on screener, right? Make sure like we do some strategy settings checks. So I think one of the things we can do is like we can run some checks if the inputs are correct, right? Because I don't want a newbie, right, who's never traded strategy to accidentally put in some wrong symbol, and then as a result, that would cause, uh, yeah, some issues basically, and yeah, so we can work like maybe on that. So we have the trading sessions. We can also create like trading session profiles, like for forex, for indices, and so on. So you don't have to manually input that. And but other than that, like everything is like pretty cool. I don't mind anything here. Okay, so we added this here. Oh, I also need to push these changes. I made, so yeah, let's push that. So like the funny thing, guys, is right now our 10K account is performing better than our 100K account if you have to like compare it, right? If we go to the public dashboard again, right, and go to home, like if we look at the past 3 days, right, we see like today's missing. I'll fix that later. But here we've made money on the 16th, 17th, 18th, and the 100 account is like on 60 million money, but then we're slightly losing on the past 2 days, and including today we're also in a minus. So not been going well, and like I hope that with the new changes on in the trading bot, we're going, to have better results. But mainly these are like relative to capital size, like break-even trades, basically, right? This is not like such a big deal. We're just waiting for like better opportunities, and so if the S&P 500 remains like not so active and volatile, next week I already have some strategies that I can, deploy and replace SP 500 with, with the new strategies. Did you have a place to enter API key or MT5 account in the GUI for initial account setup? Uh, no, I didn't do that. That's actually a great idea. Uh, I think we would have like everything stored in configuration files. So careful, I don't want to leak my Hyperliquid private keys. So here in API credentials, I have my stuff saved, and that would actually be like pretty good, because then you could like use that GUI to save the stuff here, and then you don't have to do it in the app. I'm gonna write down, and maybe like I can do it like right now, or I'm actually gonna do it off stream because I hate working with credentials and API keys on live stream. So this is a task that I will probably do, in my free time later. But great proposal. So I'm just gonna add it here, and like this is a very easy task. Add a feature to enter, what is it? MT5 credentials and Hyperliquid API credentials. Again, guys, be very careful when it comes to credentials. when you download my code, I want you to be skeptical, to doubt what I'm doing. If you download an app from someone unknown, right, and like you would enter your credentials here, and this would be like, let's say, your public and private key for your crypto wallet, right? They can steal your money. So I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to do that, right? Of course, but it's always good to verify. So even though you trust me and you believe that, you know, I'm not going to scam you, please just, for example, just for your own peace of mind or anyone who would try to scam in the future, ask Claude this question. Uh, like, is this project safe? Are my API keys gonna get leaked if I run these apps? And just in case Claude doesn't accidentally print out my API credentials, again, I'm trying to be very careful here. I'm going to run this prompt on the right side of my screen, and then if the output is fine, then I'm going to share it with you. Okay, so here the prompt seems to be okay. Uh, so I know it's very obvious what I'm saying or self-explanatory, but I believe that some of the people who watch a live stream are at risk, you know, of leaking their keys, you know, or providing two-factor authentication to Hyperliquid. And like I've heard many stories how people lost their money when it comes to, you know, trading crypto or on crypto exchanges. So this is a very common thing. So I'm just going to remind you on a regular basis because like it sounds like a silly mistake, but it's a very, very expensive mistake, right? Some people have their life savings in crypto. You definitely don't want that to happen. And then I believe some dexes, like if you uh, connect your wallet with other dexes on Hyperliquid, you have 2FA and your like API agent key, right? Does not allow withdrawals, which is fine. But other dexes with the same like API key, you can also send money to other wallets, which can, in theory, yeah, make you lose your funds. All right, so everything's fine here. So like, yeah, so what I wrote is like, hey Claude, is this project safe, right? So none of these can be used to steal funds, no key, no withdrawal ability, but balances P&L and like your sensitive data might leak on stream, right? So me streaming here is also an extra like danger for me. That's why I had to implement, you know, some measures. So again, reminder, don't trust anybody, don't trust me, don't trust anybody on Discord. If you're on my Discord server, uh, right? Someone might be nice to you, they might be your friend, but there will always be someone who will try to scam you, right? So again, if they send you code, hey guys, I uploaded this new code, can you help me out? Or their account might get hacked. Always run a security check whether the code is safe to run. Okay? Applies to me, applies to anyone else. Protect your money. So, okay. So a daily reminder that security is important. I will just, you know, do it on a regular basis. One day I know it might happen to me, right? It might happen to me because I'm sometimes autopiloting, but what I'm doing is like I try to avoid these things as much as I can, especially for you guys. So can we put a deep learning architecture to choose a strategy dynamically by trade and time of day? Yes. So if you like run a backtest, right? You can run a backtest on like the historical spread. You want to apply your own strategy settings. That's fine. So the deep learning wouldn't then with the output you would then like, for example, generate this strategy setting file with the training sessions. So the deep learning algorithm would have to apply or like output these settings here, and then you could trade according to your own model. But I'm not an expert in machine learning, so that's something probably that you would have to focus on. I can't help much with that, unfortunately. Is this system better for high or low volatility regime? Like, in my opinion, it's better when volatility is high because the price discrepancies are high. So I would say higher volatility, but I also want to make it work when volatility is low. But yeah, this week has been quite calm, so that's why I'm trying to work on making this system also profitable during calm periods. How can I build something like this? I don't know, watch my live stream, or just download my code and study the code. I think these are the two only options that I have for you right now. I see so many people getting wrecked on Reddit. You can literally use synthetic data to show a fake P&L and send someone bot that just takes their money. It's insane right now out there. Wild, wild west. Yeah. So be careful, guys. Very, very dangerous. Don't trust me. Trust but verify. That's also a saying. Trust but verify. Hey, never work backtest when you run in the live trade, so not good to backtest. Well, if you mean that a lot of times backtests don't reflect the live performance, that might be true, but I think that's more an issue with backtesting. Like you can like over optimize or overfit your backtest, which is a common thing, or like your data is not good enough, right? So the best test is actually live trading test. Okay, have we placed a trade on GBPUSD? Still none. Okay, we'll eventually get there, right? So we got one sell here at 1334, which was like 40 minutes ago. Maybe we should try a symbol where the liquidity is slightly higher. I think we can do that too. Gold funding rate is very high. We have 67. The Oracle is 66. That could work. And gold is very liquid, like sort of liquid. So I think gold is a good candidate. Palladium is 600,000, so not very liquid, but the funding rate is very high. So I think we can try Palladium, even though Palladium is quite expensive. XPD/USD. Yeah, it costs $9 to open a trade on Palladium, right? So how much is that in percentages? So $9 divided by 1,245. That's yeah, 0.7%. So how long would it take us to? Yeah, quite long actually. Yeah, too expensive. I need to find. I probably, if I want to trade Palladium, I would need to, not trade with IC trading because they're like very expensive. I would, yeah, I would need to trade like maybe with the underlying futures, right? Futures are cheaper for like uh things like platinum or palladium. So, so guys, I'm gonna take a quick toilet break and I'll be right back. And then like hopefully we'll find some other trades very soon. So see you later, guys. Okay, I'm back, and another comment. Could you dynamically size based on ATR, like increasing risk or leverage based on ATR, then either cut or neutralize the trade if it goes over that, or have decreasing level for high ATR period, etc.? Yeah, that does make sense. So uh, the leverage that we choose in our trading strategy depends on the probability of liquidation. So we can run like a simulation, like maybe like a Monte Carlo simulation using like the ATR indicator to see what the chances are of getting liquidated. And so we can then like run some statistics and percentages, and based on that simulation we can like compute the probability of getting liquidated, and then according to that we can choose the leverage, because the leverage then decides what our liquidation levels are. So yeah, I agree that I think like I wouldn't do it automatically. I think when you choose the risk, you should be able to define the risk yourself, because someone is more conservative, someone's more aggressive. So probably in the dashboard, what I do is like we can run analysis on, the probability of liquidation, so what the liquidation distance should be, and then set the leverage accordingly. And then we can like set things aggressive, moderate, or low risk, right? We can set like 3 different levels where it would then output the suggested leverage, and then you as the user can then like input that risk profile into the trading strategy, which would then like compute the ideal leverage. Yes, but I can compute the ATR. So computing the ATR is kind of easy, right? You just take a certain period, like let's say a weekly or monthly period, depending if it's like a short-term thing, or maybe like if you want to trade in the longer term, and then like based on that you can then choose the leverage yourself. So usually on stream I say 1 to 5, 1 to 10 should be okay. Sometimes higher leverage are fine forex, but what is the correct answer, right? And the correct answer is like how much are you willing to risk? But great suggestion. I think we should like we should definitely add it, because this is a topic that people are asking. What should the leverage be, right? Or what is the liquidation distance that I should set? Like there is currently no process or no like specific answer, and like going deeper into this question I think would also be useful for the viewers in the future. So simulate risk of liquidation using ATR, and suggest leverage based on leverage plus liquidation distance based on different risk levels, right? Which could be aggressive, moderate, and low. Yeah, so it's true. So now the times are quite quiet, and like we could like increase our leverage. Like during quiet times, there's like 2 types of things that we have to consider. One is like, do we have the signals, right? Because right now also the amount of signals we have is low. The entry and exit prices are not as profitable, and the frequency of trades is lower. But when we get into a trade, then we can like increase leverage for this trade. And also the question is like, is 3 days or 1 week justifiable enough to call it low volatility, right? So in my opinion, like 2 or 3 days when nothing's happening, uh, like I'm already consider adjusting that, but it's not like definite. Like you can't definitely say that it's like a comma period. Like today evening, tomorrow, a lot of things can happen. Not tomorrow, on Monday, a lot of things can happen. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that like there is a risk of liquidation, and also the spread volatility can be like 2 separate things actually. But this is definitely a good task, so I'm going to add it here, and like we can start with the notebook, and then eventually we'll add it into our dashboard, right? So dashboard will be used to yeah, analyze these things, so we can like compute the optimal values for that. So I mentioned like one is like risk. I mean, yeah, we're planning to also like work on Arbitrage Lab. So here we can actually add these calculators. So when we do these calculators, I like to all these things like in one go, right? So, you know, for the past 2 days, I was doing just this. So I like to do things in one go. So then when we all do all these calculators and also simulate risk, this would be like a nice project to do for like 2 or 3 days in a row. But yeah, so this I will do later because again, I don't want to work with credentials. So let's see, do we have any trade on GBPUSD? Still none. Yeah, you know, it looks like someone's trying to compete one tick above my price, right? I always feel like whenever I update my limit price, someone like this guy or this robot always puts it 1 point below mine to compete for better pricing. So maybe I should be more aggressive in my pricing. I think maybe I should be more aggressive. So uh, let me change the strategy settings for GBPUSD. Instead of 2, let me just put 1. How much is it exactly? That's $10. So GBPUSD 1, 2. Oh yeah, that's actually quite a lot, which is good, 0.001 is still a lot. So yeah, this is gonna be fine. So I will save this. And now I'm going to restart both strategies. So now both of them stop, and now I can start both of them again. So yeah, very easy, very convenient, right? So here, uh, I see that someone's trying to compete with my pricing, so I'm not gonna let him. I'm gonna set it more aggressively. So see that people are actually fighting for their price, and so now the spread is going to be even more narrow. And the question is he gonna follow? Is this 470 gonna follow my price? And right now I feel like no. Or maybe we just had the same price levels, right? Like similar strategy settings. So you guys can actually compete with my price by quoting a spread even lower than mine. So that's what happens, right? When market makers compete, they narrow the spread, and now all the market participants enjoy an even better price than before. So now I'm at top of book, and hopefully we will get filled eventually. Or actually, I want to show you something really cool. What if I narrow the spread where I would be top of book and bid and ask, right? I will show you how to become an actual market maker with this trading bot. What if I went even one level lower? Like what if I went like 0.2 and 0.2? Like I'm going this low, right? Or 3, right? Let's go at 3 pips. So I'm going to make a very super tight spread now, right? So I'm going to save this, and hopefully I will quote both the bid and ask. So I'm going to stop both, and I'm going to start both. Okay, so now let's see if I can quote both bid and ask at the same time. So now let's see if I'm quoting some price. So I'm quoting the sell, but I'm not quoting ask it. So because the Oracle price is at 221, 13221. So yeah, I'm not at top of book yet, but I'm really pushing the price down, right? So now GBPUSD should be very fairly priced. And now the chances of me getting filled are going to be very high, right? I just need to wait for someone to know buy. I really pushed the spread down to like 6 pips now, right? It's probably 6 pips. Or I can also yeah, that's fine. So my limit price buy, just let me think about it. It's all good. So probably soon I'm going to be coding both sides. I just need, to let's look at the pricing here. It's a very tight spread. So we're sort of like market making, like at this point, like we don't have the buy limit here, right? Because right now there are like 2 orders above us, that are top of book. But once these 2 orders disappear, I am the next in queue, and then you would see 2-sided quotes on GBPUSD. So I just wanted to, show also like the similarities between arbitrage trading and market making. And like arbitrage trading doesn't mean that you have to add liquidity, right? It actually usually means like you use a taker, you just see a price, you buy, send a taker order, and yeah, get filled for a price immediately. But here we're still using maker orders, and because we're using maker orders, we're sort of like acting as a market maker uh, on this symbol. And so if we like apply it on other assets as well, right? Not just GBPUSD, but maybe even like EURUSD. Here the liquidity is like 4,000, so here we have like better chances of getting good fills because we have high liquidity here. And right now the funding rate is also quite high. So in theory, if we added liquidity to EURUSD, again with similar spreads, we could like really narrow, like it's narrow now, but we could like get nice fills on this asset too. And so yeah, so what I'm going to do now that I have the control panel, I can afford to run multiple trading strategies at the same time, right? I think there's a WebSocket limitation, which is 10 WebSockets per IP address. So I'm limited to like 4 strategies at the moment, but also my next project will be to move all the WebSockets to one central system that will then provide data to each individual strategy, so I can have like maybe even 10 or 20 if I want to, right? So if you want to run like multiple arbitrage strategies at the same time, using the control panel here would then make it possible. But it's a different style of trading, right? Again, as I've mentioned, like I prefer trading like a few strategies on my large account, not worry about it. But you have to adapt, right? So right now, during those those last 3 days, I haven't had many trades, so I'm forced to adapt to find new opportunities. And if, for example, now trading 20 strategies will make more money than trading a few good ones, then so shall be it. Okay, so now let's do some strategy settings, value check. Or control panel GUI upgrades. So I can write actually down all the things I can add here. So what we need to do is add API credentials via the graphical user interface. That's one thing I will do later. And then strategy settings verification. So we want to make sure that the values we put in are going to be correct. Then I would probably add trading session templates. So you don't have to fill out these trading sessions yourself. There will be templates provided that you can set up yourself. Another thing that we can add is create new strategy, which will create a new folder and folder, and yeah, add the template. So this would then copy all the files from the template folder basically. So so maybe we should make like a, I don't know, forex template and then like index template. But yeah, these three things we can do today, and then the GUI part will I'm going to off stream when I test the API credentials later. Okay, so let's do the verification. But yeah, the USD GPU is like performing quite well. We have $4 on this one. This is like not bad. Funding rates are still quite low, which is like good for us. Like I think like we could really push the USD JPY. In theory, if I like really wanted to make money today and accept the loss on JP25, that would be fine. I really want to close this position. Okay, let's just. I'll change my mind in like 30 minutes once I'm done with the tasks. Strategy settings verification. So let's start with this one, and I want to create a function that double checks the strategy settings, making sure that there are no mistakes. When saving strategy settings in the control panel, I want to add an alert this value seems to be wrong. Do you want to proceed anyways? It should add things like entry cell must always be higher than exit cell, which must be higher than exit buy, which must be higher than entry buy, right? So you want to do this. In theory, exit cell can be lower than entry buy. So actually entry cell must always be higher like this. So like I let Claude to finish the logic. Hopefully Claude will know what I mean by that, etc. What other strategy settings do we have? Like it could also check for the volume relative to the account size, right? Oh, I forgot to add dynamic capital allocation based on percentages and leverage. That would be very useful. Okay, let's just run this prompt and see, what we'll get. So you know what, guys? I'm actually going to close JP225 on this one later. Like the problem is like I can't open any trades, right? Because my margin is locked, right? I can't open any trades because my margin in JP225 on both accounts is locked because I'm stuck in this trade. Yeah, let's just actually force close. Like I will realize a loss, like let's say $100 or $200, but I'm missing out on opportunities. So this is the main part, right? I'm missing out on opportunities. So I should actually just close it, accept the $200 loss, and like just trade something else that's profit now, and I'll investigate later why JP225 doesn't work. So yeah, I feel like that's the most correct. So there is my function force close at pi. This function will, oh, haven't run this function in a long time, so probably maybe the new changes don't work with it, but let's try to see what the issue is. Somehow it crashed, but now it seems to be working. And also like JP25 is very illiquid, right? So here the daily volume like is a bit higher, 2 million, but here my position value is 159,000. So it will take me minutes or even hours to actually fully exit that position. But yeah, once I exit that position, then it should be fine. And then I can like trade any other asset for the rest of the day. That would be great. So we'll just check later on the state of this force close. And let's check my prompt here. So in the meantime, we're gonna, work on the upgrades on the control panel. And yeah, then we'll see. But yeah, I think I have a good, like, I'll have a good chance market making GBPUSD. Like our trading bot is not like a fully market making bot, because then I would still also need to provide the bid and ask prices constantly. But I think I have a good shot. Like if I also were to quote a bid, even though I have no signal based on the current trading logic, I would have, yeah, quite a good chance to, offer liquidity on this. And I think like I could quote like maybe $25,000 at top of book, right? Or even like, yeah, 25K top of book should be okay. Because right now it's 200,000, right? But I know that like MT5 retail traders, if you trade on MT5, EURUSD, GBPUSD, USD are like the major pairs that everyone trades in the like CFD retail world. So I know that GBPUSD has very good potential to become a very popular symbol. What's missing here is the liquidity, right? The tight spread that people don't have. So if I just let an actual market making bot run to quote a bin ask at all times and allow traders to take on so that I can be counterparty and then hedge an MT5, that would be like a really nice experiment. So like that type of trading I have not done before, uh, like pure market making, because I always focus on like these more liquid assets, right? I want like instant fill to arbitrage it against MT5, but here we're just placing a quote and waiting on all day until we just get some flow for us. So can you say how's your day? How many hours you put into trading research now watching you from home? Cool. So usually I wake up at 10 a.m., sometimes 9. I have breakfast, I check the charts, check my strategies, Then at 11, I go to work, have morning briefing with my team, right? So my team also manages company accounts, make sure that all trading operations are fine. Then, on many days, like I live stream from like 1 or 2 p.m. So then I stream for like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours. And then most of my research and like extra work is done in the evening. So usually I'm home at like 6 or 7, get dinner. And then, I review all my trades, I program, or I do some research and backtesting, uh, and then usually I go to bed around 1 a.m. Sometimes I play games when I feel tired, don't feel like working, but yeah, my days are kind of busy lately, right? They're kind of busy, and like also with the members, right? I also try to make sure that I reply to my community. Uh, yeah, been very 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 busy. But so far, no signs of burnout. It's just signs of exhaustion. So maybe I should, take it a bit easy. But that's what weekends are for, right? On Saturdays and Sundays, I usually don't do much. I just have brunch with my wife, and then uh, now it's quite nice, right? Now summer is here in Prague, so I just like to go out, go for a walk, enjoy the nice weather, have a few beers, and do nothing. Yesterday I was at the pool, right? Yesterday, I felt a bit exhausted after, Wednesday stream. So I just spent the day at the pool and I was like coding, vibe coding and swimming. That was like a really nice thing to do yesterday. Yes, I'm married. Could you imagine? I'm almost 30 this year. So I think the age of getting married, I don't know, it's around like 28 to 30 or something like that. I mean, I think maybe in Western culture it's a bit later, but in Asian culture you actually get married in your late 20s usually. Yeah, take breaks when you need. You want you always back. Same. Today I'm going to take a very nice break, like at 5, I will just go out, have a few beers, enjoy the sun. It's 34 degrees. It's gonna be super hot, but at least like the evenings are gonna be very nice. So I'm like really excited to start the weekend this week. Do you watch World Cup? No, I don't watch football. I'm not much of a football fan. I don't know why. Like watching people kick balls. Like, uh, I mean that sounds bad, but I don't want to, offend football fans. But I don't find it exciting. But that's probably because I would rather do other things like work or play games. So probably it's because I would rather do other things instead of football. That's why I don't enjoy it. Watching for first time, how do you code? Earlier I saw Claude code. What editor was that, and what are your Asian roots? Well, first let's start with the last question. I'm Vietnamese, so my parents migrated from Vietnam, uh, yeah, in the late 90s, and so yeah, so I code in PyCharm IDE. Oh, right now we have Claude here in PyCharm IDE. So all my code and like this trading dashboard or like this control panel. So everything you see, all the apps that I'm presenting are actually inside this project. And yeah, I use Claude. I use Claude to code this entire project. So we're using a lot of AI on this live stream, and AI, is like a really great tool. So I actually forgot that we also have to do some coding. All right, so we added some function to check for the values. And so let me read through these things. Why don't you use, or where don't you use, I assume you said why don't you use MT5? I'm using MT5. MT5 is this platform here. And so whenever I place a trade, it hedges my exposure. So yeah, MT5 is here ready to hedge my trade any moment. Uh, where can I test the function that tests the strategy settings? Vietnamese immigrant on Cloud Max. Is that a common thing? I'm not sure. I don't. I tried to, write like AI coding live streams on YouTube and like trading live streams. There are not many people actually who do that. So maybe that's going to be my niche. Okay, let's check the status on our like JP225. Oh God, it looks like my first close is having like quite some bugs actually. Good thing that we have tested it because we need to fix that. So force close script seems to open many orders that are left open. I believe that this is a bug. Can you review? Question mark. Yeah, the force close script hasn't been tested for a long time, so it's a good thing that we found that there are not too many orders, which is not too bad. But yeah, let's just cancel all these open orders and yeah, try to fix that. So give me a second. I just need to authenticate via 2FA. All right. So I need to authenticate. And so now we cancel all orders. Okay, and now, okay, and now 3 new orders have appeared. So that is great. So let's see what the issue is. So yeah, okay, we want to sell anyways, but here we are. Interesting. So whenever I cancel, it submits 3 new orders. Uh, yeah, I use Asana, to now manage my project. Actually, I started Asana 2 days ago, so it is pretty new. It is something I've been using in my previous job, and like a lot of work has piled up, so I need to, structure my tasks better. And like a lot of people are asking for like requests and so on, so it's better to write here. But I don't use Claude right now. I use it just, to like manage the projects personally, right? To, just write down what to focus on like today. That's just for myself, but I don't use it for Claude to you know handle the project, right? So I feel like I'm more in control if I just okay, today we're gonna work on this, and then I will just handle the tasks with Claude here. um, or maybe like I'm not that advanced yet to like integrate Asana into Claude, but I think that's almost like right now I feel like that's overdoing it, right? I feel like that's a bit overdoing it. But of course, like if it works for you, then there's not much problem. Wow. Okay, so right, so you seem like you use like Asana also, like to help you with like designing or like managing projects. So yeah, very interesting. Like I'm still like, I would say I'm still a newbie, right? So all of the things I'm doing here are still like very, how would I say, like I haven't touched I have just touched the surface of AI. So there are other people who, can do much crazier things than I do. Midnight here, market goes anyways, Juneteenth. Yes, that's right. Enjoy your holiday. Thanks for coming. And yeah, I'll be happy to see you next week. Good night. Okay, so again, it seems that we are just closing ourselves here. Um, oh, guys, the funding rate on JP225 is normal again. Look at that. It's 6%. What that means is that I can actually resume trade my strategy as usual. Finally. So actually, there is no need to change anything. But let's still observe. So I think that Juneteenth is messing up the funding rates on JP225. Otherwise, we'd have like good results here. So let's just keep it running. If anything, I'll let it run over a weekend. If you lose a few $100, that's going to be to my issue. But next time, I think I'll have to check the holidays, how they affect the funding rates, right? I think just the external pricing is off, but on IC markets, like I know that JP25 is still being like quoted. So I'm just gonna leave this running, and then we'll see. And then like I can also migrate to the like previous script. So here, this is my JP25 script, and yeah, let's just keep trading. Whoops, leave it open. Yes, please. When you commit things, just leave everything on the main branch. Okay, now I'm curious. Did we open any trades on GBPUSD? Still nothing. I mean, that's why I deserve for trading an asset that um, yeah, has only like 201,000 24-hour volume. So maybe we can test on a different symbol. Let me try to, yeah. I think EURUSD, we would have better chances of getting filled, right? Here the volume is 4,000, it's much higher. And so let me just like copy the folder and like apply it on Euro USD. So the settings are going to be pretty much the same because it's both Forex. And so like I can delete Euro USD here, right? We don't need it anymore. I'm going to apply this one on Euro USD. So let me start it. Let me just add the things here. And so now in strategy settings, so let me just restart my control panel, right? So just uh, let's just restart my control panel, and so we're going to trade EURUSD, which has like much better liquidity. So here, let's just go to EURUSD, and so we click on manage. Like I might put these buttons to the left, right? So I like can spot the exact line, or I would add like separators, because here I go to USD and have to drag my mouse to the right. So I think the correct design choice would be to put these buttons to the left and then add the values maybe as a table with lines where you can like follow each individual row. Well, that's just something that I just noticed. And so here we're going to trade the XYZ euro, and here we're going to trade the symbol euro USD, right? Euro USD. So there is no FX conversion rate. Everything should be the same. So I think like we can just save it and start the script. So here we saved, yeah, the settings, and let's start our trading bots in our control panel. So now we should be adding liquidity to EURUSD. So let's check the EURUSD chart here and see if we're able to, have any signals. So right now the bid and ask spread is 2 and 3, 0.00. Yeah, I think I needs to go even lower, right? Right now we don't have any interest signal, and that is because USD is like very efficient here. So the spread now is like 2 or 3, and the limits to enter is buy entry. Oh no, I have to stop both. So limit price by entry is 0.003 and exit is 3. So actually what I should do is maybe do like 1. What is the decimal precision? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So up to 4 decimal precisions. So this is the minimum price unit that we can quote to provide a spread. So 3 zeros. And here we also have 3 zeros. So this is the probably the best way to do it. So here I can press and save. So now the spread in USD is going to be like almost very minimal. And so let's start both. I feel like I should clear a terminal. So when I click start, I should clear the previous ones, but it's fine. Let's just leave like this. And let's see if we can find like any trading opportunity here. It's leverage 1 to 30. And so now, yes, now you can see that we're adding liquidity. We're adding, the ask to the top of book. And now we're just waiting to get filled. And then hopefully, we'll see some trades on EURUSD. So this is now, I believe like it won't take much longer to get a fill because yeah, the liquid is 4 million. So let's just see until we're next in queue. And like we see some buys, quite frequent buys. So I think this is a good price. Super good stuff that you're working on, brother. Yeah, thank you for a comment. Well, trading is like my main hobby, right? So so I just, do what I like. Okay, so I feel like I canceled the order too early, right? So right now, when I quote limit prices, the quote window is 60 seconds. And like when I cancel that order, it means my priority my order priority gets back last because I cancel the order. So if other people are also quoting limit prices, I think I should increase the duration of my ask price. So here in strategy settings, to fix that, we have something called quote window, right? This is how long my limit order can stay in the order book before being canceled. And instead of 1 minute, let's just say it is allowed to stay there for 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes. So for 5 minutes, I will be quoting the limit prices. Otherwise, it will get canceled. So here again, I will stop both and I'm gonna start both again. So I'm restarting them. And so now with a new setting, I should have higher chances of getting filled at the top of book. Okay, so now we're coding at top of book. So let's see if I get filled. Also, yeah, right now the price is very low on Hyperliquid. Right now the spread is minus 200, and that probably is also a reason why the funding rate decreased, and that's because yeah, the Oracle price is 759, but the market price here is 900. So we're still like $200 off. Probably I should have closed it, right? But we can go back to PyCharm here. And so first we have to fix a force close. So probably I will still like, yeah, close the position. So once this bug is fixed, I will then close my position. And like right now, like the price fell down by like $200. So it's not a very good price to exit at, right? Like my floating PNL is minus 290. Not very nice. So ideally, I would want to like this price to go back up, to the high level so I can exit. But then again, the funding rates would also be very bad for me. Yeah, very rough. Like we might be looking at like a $200, $300 loss today because of this unfortunate situation that I have to deal with XYZ. Like it's kind of like infuriating a bit, right? Because this is something that's out of your control. Like where do you derive the pricing or the Oracle price, right? I assumed, of course you shouldn't assume, you should know. I assumed that it's JB225 that's on IC markets because it's always been like that. And now because of holidays, yeah, that is actually not very nice. Okay, we're still quoting at top of book. Here okay, we're next in queue. So it's 10,000 and our order got cancelled. No, yeah, we just got new. So 66,466 is the new price. Okay, someone please buy from me. We're at top of book now. Yeah, sometimes when you're like trading illiquid markets, you just wish or hope that you get filled soon. When you start stop both, what does both refer to? Is it one both for Hyperliquid and one for MT5? Yes, correct. So on the left side, we have my Hyperliquid bot, and this one is processing the trading signals and placing trades on Hyperliquid. And on the right side, we have the hedger, right? MT5 hedger, which listens to trades or exposure on Hyperliquid. And then when we have a position on Hyperliquid, it will then send a trade to MT5 to hedge that trade. So we are like running a delta neutral strategy where we have like two bots doing like separate things. So here we're doing signal processing and trading Hyperliquid, and this one is just listening to trades on Hyperliquid and hedging that on MT5. So this is what both means. Amazing, guys. So our first EURUSD has been filled, and we waited like a few minutes, like I don't know, 5. So we are 30 EURUSD short. Of course, this position size is too small to uh to hedge, because the minimum size on MT5 is 1,000 Euro USD, right? So once we hit 1,000 Euro USD on Hyperliquid, it will then send 0.01 to MT5 because that's the contract size. Okay, let's continue with fixing our force close script. Okay, I'm also going to create a strategy folder called My Strategies, which will be added to git ignore. later. Like I'm going to create like a person strategy folder and then sample strategies. But yeah, so for now, the force close script has been fixed. So what I can try doing is I can yeah, go to JP225, copy the force close script, and hopefully that will then solve the issue. So here we're putting the force close, and just in case, I'm also going to copy the TrainBot core, which contains all the files yeah, regarding my training bots. So here we add training bot core. And so now I will try to close my trades on JP225, and hopefully we will not have any error. And yeah, so we're accepting like a $300 loss. In total, it's going to be $400, but I would rather exit at a loss than feel the pain of not being able to exit my trades. Or I can double down and buy more, right? Because the spread is 200 right now between the real market and so on. And I have to think what's more profitable, because I believe on Monday market open. That's just a speculation though. On Monday market open, everything's gonna be fine. Everything, the funding rates will then follow the same pricing like on IC trading, which is this provider. So if the funding rates remain that bad for me, right? If the funding rates remain this bad, I might lose like, I don't know, $100 or $200 by the end of the day. So I'll be like minus 300. But then on Monday, when the pricing returns to normal, I can then exit the position at $200 loss, right? Oh, this is just a bug, don't worry. My Hyperliquid is connected, it will reconnect soon. So I'm at plus 62. And you guys see me struggling, right? You see me struggling because I need to write it down. Because sometimes you're in a losing trade, and like to end the pain, what do? You close a trade and then the pain is gone, right? So now we're dealing with trading psychology and emotion, but we don't want to be emotional, we want to be profitable. So I need to compare two scenarios, right? Scenario one, well, let me write Asana so you guys can also see what I'm writing, right? Scenario number one. So scenario number one is currently I'm down 100 USD on funding rates on JP225, right? I'm currently down $100. And if funding rates keep going against me, I might be, let's say, minus. I mean, the funding rates have been like that since morning, right? So the day is almost over in 8 hours, or like in like 10 hours. So there's actually not much time left for me to bleed on funding rate. So let's say I will be minus 200 USD, right? So I will be minus 200 USD on funding rates, which is not so bad. And so my assumption, this is an assumption, this is not guaranteed. That's why I wanted to investigate that, and I can do it like over the weekend with like XYZ. But assumption is that on Monday the funding rates will be again aligned with MT5 prices. So then the current prices that I have will actually no longer have negative funding rates. So as a result, if I exit on Monday would result, if I make 50 USD on exit, right? So 50 USD times 2, I would make like plus 100 US, plus 100. That will be plus 100 USD. So in total, I will be minus 100 net. Okay, nice. Option number two. This is option number two. And option number two is that I close the trade right now and I lose I also can't close it right now, right? Because the liquidity is not there, so I have to do it in small chunks. But here, if we look at the live dashboard, right here, we're still disconnected here. Yeah, Hyperliquid reporting does not work very well. But I know that I will be like down. Let's say I lose 400 USD. So I think based on this example, I should wait till Monday, because on Monday, if my assumption is correct, I will minus 100. If I close it now, I will minus 400. But the problem is also like the funding rates during the weekend, right? They can vary, but overall, like in the long term, they should be like 0. So like maybe the worst case is like be like 200. Like I said, this is the worst case. So if I wait till Monday, I lose 200 worst case. If I wait till if I close it now, I'm minus 400. So I think it's worth it to wait, right? So good thing that like I've done this mental practice, and like then I don't really care. Like first it's like this emotional pain of being in a loss, and so when you're in loss, it's a good thing to close it. And I mean it's the correct choice in most cases, right? If you are losing money, bleeding money, and you feel like the strategy is not helping you, then closing is the better choice than holding on to it. Sometimes you double down, right? Like you re-enter the trade and like try to make the money back in like normal trading. But I think like going through these two options, right? We create like a rational decision that closing on Monday, like there's no guarantee it's gonna be correct, but if my assumption is wrong, then I will be like minus like 400, 500 too, right? So if I lose 500 on Monday or 400 today, it doesn't make much sense. But if I'm correct, then I definitely save 200. So I think that's my rational reasoning why I'm yeah gonna wait till Monday with this trade setup. So is this your full-time own business, or do you have another day job? No, I like trade full-time. I live stream full-time. This is what I do all day right now. So you will keep the position open over the weekend? Would there be any overnight financing costs for CFD? Well, for CFDs, yes, there are also financing costs for the CFD part. So if you look at, JP225 on MT5, you will see the financing costs, which are not too high, right? So right now I have a short position, so I will pay minus 6.5 points, so it's minus 6.5 yen. Per contract that I've opened, and I pay triple also, right? Because it's Friday, so on Friday you have to pay for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so you pay triple amount on MT5, which might also be bad for me. Oh, guys, so as you can see, I'm short 2,000 USD, EURUSD, right? Which means I should have a long position on EURUSD here, right? So now you can see that, yeah, this works, and that yeah, the hedging's fine. Let's check the settings in our dashboard. So here, the thing is my dashboard requires to import the symbol settings statically by going to, I think, dashboard settings. So like if I go to dashboard here and like, okay, let me just restart it and connect. All right. I think I just crashed my trading bot by restarting the dashboard again. That's my bad, unfortunately, but okay, I'm going to start both. And okay, that should then fix the issue. Hopefully I don't have any uneven exposure. Yeah, everything seems to be working fine. Okay. Like when I restart a dashboard, my MT5 also restarts. I forget that you have to always start MT5 manually first and then run the dashboard, or start a control panel first and then start a dashboard. But yeah, here we go to our settings. We add new pair. So here we would add XYZ, or actually we already have EURUSD here. It's just like named differently, right? This is our EURUSD strategy. And so if we go to EURUSD here, we can filter the trading results by EURUSD. So here you can see that my entry price was 0.005, which is like pretty nice. And so if we exit at 0, we make 5 pips, right? So on a position size, it's 100,000, which is the contract size on like MT5. So if we go one lot on MT5 and we make 5, so times 0.1235, so that would make a profit of $50, right? So but $100,000 is a lot, but on Forex, again, Forex is not that volatile, so going high lot sizes is pretty normal. So yeah, so this is great. So we just keep this running and keep building our EURUSD position. And I think like market making Forex is like a bit easier because it's not that volatile and you can go higher leverage. So that does help out a lot. Okay, we have another question. Hi, are you strictly doing arbitrage? Do you have algos and bots that you run? I'm currently running a successful directional trading poly market BTC up down for 3 months, but I need help to like scaling into actual scalping algo bot. Do you do any of this? No, I don't specialize in prediction markets. I do mainly arbitrage, so I would probably not be able to assist you, with your project. Of course, I'm interested, but I would rather focus on strategies where I specialize in, right? Which is like arbitrage trading. But yeah, thank you for coming and asking. So the thing about Hyperliquid is that like you can't quote a tighter spread because the minimum amount is already that high, right? So you can only quote up to 3 decimal places, which is fine because the commission IC markets is how much? $7 per contract. So if you look at EURUSD at IC markets, you look like in the specifications here, right? So here you see that it's $7 per lot. So in theory, if we capture like 100,000, right, times 0.1231, which is the minimum precision on Hyperliquid, you will make you should actually only make $10, right? You should make $10, and if you subtract the fees, right, so -7, so in EURUSD, your net profit is $3 on 100,000 positions. So that's actually the like implied return, and that's assuming that you get like almost perfect execution, right? And it's actually quite difficult to get almost perfect execution. But there are also ways to reduce the commission, right? There are like FX rebates. You could reduce the commission from 7 to 5 in theory if your volume is high enough. But yeah, 3 should be doable. So I believe that there are probably better assets to trade than EURUSD, or you could like scalp between high and low, right? You could like maybe have like jump between -1 and 1, and you could make like much more. So I think for EURUSD, maybe it's better to quote a slightly larger spread. Yeah, that should also be fine. Yes, I'm from Vietnam. No, I was born in Czech Republic, but my parents are Vietnamese. So basically, yes, I'm from Vietnam. Okay, so I think that on EURUSD, maybe we should apply like a slightly larger spread, so we shouldn't exit at zero because our profit margins would be too low. I think a safer bet on EURUSD would be to change the strategy settings, because if we apply a spread that's like 1 point larger, instead of $3, you would make 13 per round turn, right? So that makes a big difference, right? So if you if this is like our target, right? So when we quote a spread that's this wide, and like again I multiply with MT5 contract size, we should make $10 per round turn. But the commission MT5 is 7, so we are left with 3. But if we like quote a spread that's like 2, right, and multiply by 100,000, right? So we widen the spread a bit with our strategy. We make 20 minus 7 again. We're left with 13. So we have over 4 times more the profit. And I think to answer the question, like in order to justify trading with a spread 1 or 2 points, right, we need to quadruple the volume with 1. And I don't think we're able to quadruple volume compared to if we like traded a spread of 2. So for that reason, like that's my reasoning. We should enter like our strategy, right? So our buy entry is fine, but then our exit should be 0.001. So our entry and exit levels are going to be like the same with the opposite, like entry and exit. So when we sell, so here we exit at minus 0.001. And because exits have priority over entries, like when we have a sell exit or a buy entry, right, which basically means buying in both cases, the exiting always priority because we always want to reduce exposure first. So I will save this, and yeah, so this is my double check that I like added, which is fine because it's equal. So I will also add like the extra setting that it should be equal. But good thing that I actually got the alert that it should double check the settings, which is great. And like I'm going to like restart the strategies again. So we're going to stop both and like start both after they start. So here we start the strategies again. So we have another question. Do you do anything on direction momentum based? If not, why? So right now, or like I used to maybe like a few years ago when I was still starting out with algorithmic trading, but eventually I found more success in arbitrage trading because I like the consistency and almost the guarantee of making a profit. And so the reason why I'm not doing that is that I'm just focusing on strategies that work for me, and like if I had to do directional momentum trading, I don't think I would be that successful compared to strategies that I'm trading right now. And like if you like check my like current P&L history, right? Wow, we're today like plus 33 already on all symbols. On the No, I think this is still outdated. You guys were right. My public P&L is outdated, but if you look like at the history, which should be correct, right? I'm simply trading something that has worked for me for a long time, and there's no reason to change strategies, right? If you have something that works, you don't jump to a different strategy. You just keep trading what you are at the moment and just try to make it better or apply it in different markets. So that's my main reason. And so we have another question. Why has the profits been so low on the big and small account yesterday? Well, yesterday I took a day off, first of all, so I didn't really like try to trade actively because I was at the pool and was coding, and like I felt a little bit like uh yeah, tired from streaming and working and trading, so I just didn't want to bother trading yesterday. And second reason is that like the markets are a bit like calm right now, so there were not many opportunities on the SP 500, which is the main strategy on the main account, right? So for next week, I'm already like applying some different strategies. So I try to apply JP25, which unfortunately, is in a like small loss, but we'll try to get out of it. And next week we'll apply some new strategies so we have like more trading opportunities. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have a toilet break and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so we are back, and yeah, let's check some of our prompts here. So yeah, so today I'm going to finish at 5, right? Because yeah, I still want to catch the sun, and today's like a really nice day. So mainly like what I'm going to do today like is I'm going to focus on like these tasks. We're going to like still work on the control panel thingies. So we still need to do like a lot of changes, and then as I said, I will upload the code today so you guys can try it out and like let me know your thoughts on on like this new feature here. I think it's gonna be like really nice to use, and then next week I'm gonna come with some new strategies, and hopefully we'll resolve the issue with the JP225. Like you can see like on the testing account, like we have other strategies that still work, right? So here right now we are trading EURUSD, which we just updated. USD has been also going quite well. So if you just look at the small USD JPY trade, you'll see that this strategy has been like working okay. Uh, for some reason, Hyperliquid here shows some bug. I need to check the realized PNL. Maybe I just report it to Claude. I think there is a bug in the dashboard. Like it's been happening on the other servers too. So I think there is a bug in the dashboard. Hyperliquid realized PNL shows 0. What is the issue? So here, let's just provide Claude with this bug so we can also fix this. So we have a question, when is your next stream? Do you have a particular schedule? So I don't have a strict schedule. So usually I stream 3 to 4 times per week at 1 or 2 p.m. CST, right? And usually I just announce the day before when I'm going to live stream. So, I'm just going to write down, right? So I will let you know on Sunday. Like on Monday I will definitely stream, right? I stream every Monday, right? Then I stream Tuesday, and then depending on my energy levels, because streaming like 2 days in a row and then like working and like doing stuff can sometimes be very exhausting for me. So usually then I take either Wednesday or Thursday off, and then then again I stream on Thursday or Friday, or sometimes I do Monday, Tuesday, then take Wednesday off, then stream on Thursday, and then take Friday off. But usually the times are always like the same, and I always announce like my live streams at least the day before, so you guys can at least prepare if you want to come visit me. Because it's like quite difficult to like live stream at the fixed. Like I would love to, but sometimes in the morning I have like business meetings, right? I have to brief my team about trading. Sometimes there are some bugs, issues, or like trading analysis that I have to do in the morning. uh, and then there are some days I'm like really tired, and I just need some time to uh, just get ready to work, right? And live stream on top of that can be yeah it can be quite exhausting. But it's not like I don't. It's not like I hate live streaming, right? But I've mentioned that I've shared my like daily schedule. You wake up, trade, live stream, backtest in the evening, and then you don't have like much time throughout the week. And then the only time you can actually rest is the weekend. Excellent. We'll drop more often. Thank you very much. Right. I'll be very happy to see you on the stream later. So we have a question. Small account like $100 could do one product like this. Uh, Well, if you're asking if a $100 account could work on with this strategy, I think it could. I would like suggest starting at least with 200, because I'm not sure if $100 is enough. So 200 definitely can uh, run some strategies on Hyperliquid liquid against MT5. And so what I'm going to do also is like next week, I will try to set up the 1K account, right? So we're planning to run strategies on a $1,000 account. So if you look like here on my public dashboard, we have an account with 100K, right? Then with a 10K to test stuff, and then a 1K to like trade very aggressively and try to make as much money as we can, and risking as much as we can. So we will also have like a small aggressive account that I'm also going to live stream. So I just need to sub the server over the weekend, and on Monday, like we can like do 500 on Hyperliquid and then 500 on MT5. Oh, almost hit my tooth. Actually, I did hit my tooth. Okay, my tooth's intact. Thank God. Okay. Yes. Go ahead. We have another question. Do you have a suggestion to fully utilize the capital for trade during weekend? I think the best way to utilize during weekend is to run some maybe statistical arbitrage strategies on Hyperliquid only, right? Or try to apply Bitcoin strategy between MT5 and Hyperliquid, or like doing a cross-dex arbitrage, right? But these are the things that I haven't like really worked on yet, so I can't provide any like specific like strategies and examples that are done. But yeah, something like maybe gold startup where we take PAX G against XAU USD is a strategy that I was thinking about. That could work. Uh, and maybe some low risk. What are these? Maybe some stablecoin market making, right? So, for example, on Hyperliquid, if you look at some stablecoin market making, right, you can go to uh, spot, and then if we go like USDH, like you can like run market making strategies on USDH and USDC. So you sell for 1.001 and buy for 0.9999. I don't know like what the performance of the strategy would be, right? So I'd have to check uh, or like test it. It's similar to my USDC USD market making bot on Revolut, so it's the same concept. And you have also uh, things on USDT, right? Ah, they also have they have Tether Gold here with some interesting volumes. Yeah, not much trading happening here. Uh, but yeah, you can do USDT against USD also. So like that type of strategy uh, is is doable to at least gain some value, right, from your trading strategies. Okay, so we have a question. What's the difference between individual fill versus spread fill? Great question. So individual fills are like individual Hyperliquid MT5 fills. So these are like these arrows that you see here. So this is the like USD JPY price. And so down here, like down here, we have Hyperliquid buy fills. And up here we have MT5 sell fills, right? And so if you aggregate the difference between the two fills, right? If you aggregate them and compute the difference, you get the spread fill, which takes, okay, right now it's also empty for some reason, but here it's actually displayed nicely. The spread fill actually shows you the aggregated difference between the fills and shows you like we bought like the spread at this level and sold at this level. So this actually visualizes the profits of our arbitrage, which is the spread fill, and this on the left side shows the individual fills on each exchange. Oh, and the spread fill, maybe just need some time to calculate things. So here we can see the spread fill when you combine Hyperliquid MT5 difference, and that's the spread fill here. Okay, so let me just try to fix the dashboard. I'll publish the changes, and then yeah, we'll then proceed next week on Monday. Question: why our charts don't show bottom fill price chart history and spread history? Well, I have a question. Do you have all symbols enabled? Because you can't, you know, compute the individual fills because you have all the symbols. So maybe if you filter by, let's say, again, USD here, it then filters out all the trades for that specific symbol or strategy that you trade. And then it will compute like the average entry prices, right? And like the individual fills for your asset. So here I think it also takes a little bit of time. Let's see if my dashboard is running also. Oh yeah, too many requests. I'm getting rate limited due to, you know, the OHLC data. So let me refresh the page and see if I get rate limited now. So again, I go to USD JPY. Hopefully I won't get rate limited now. We'll get filtered here. But you know, that's how you get it, right? You have to filter strategy pair and then this will show up. Like the rate limit issue, I'm still working on it, right? I need to make my dashboard more efficient with the data because, you know, sometimes I'm requesting too much and then we'll hit the rate limit error, which I have to still work on. But let me know if that solution helps you. So this strategy is great. Like this strategy made us like almost $5. We're not trading also like large risk. So in theory, we could have made like much more money on USD JPY. So very unlucky with JP225 today. So again, we got rate limited, too many requests. So yeah, I also have to deal with this issue. So maybe I will also discuss the rate limit issue with Claude now, so we can also fix that. We still have some time before the weekend starts, and yeah. And there's like a good thing, you know, guys. If the markets were open on Saturday, Sunday, which they are on Hyperliquid, I think I would never sleep because I would trade all the time. So I think it's a good thing for me that I'm not trading 2 days in a week. Otherwise, I would probably become crazy and just stare at charts all day. Uh, okay, we still first need to fix this bug in the dashboard. We're still computing stuff. So as you can see here we have 0 again. So yeah, we have to investigate that. And then the rate limits. Okay, so I think we found the reason for the issue, and that's probably maybe related also to the you know, too many requests that we're getting rate limited. So if we also like fix the rate limiting issue, then the dashboard shouldn't crash ideally. Let's also check the trades on my large account. Yeah, already minus 115 here in the funding rates. But now the funding rates are like low, right? We're at 6%, right? So this is fine. But yeah, I wish, to somehow understand why the Oracle is that low. So worst case, we close a loss on Monday and we'll see. So I think what I'm going to do also like with the dashboard, like we're like requesting uh like the historical data here. So I think a better approach would be to maybe uh backfill, right? Like request the 1 minute charts once every 5 minutes or even like once every 15 minutes, right? Because we don't need the real-time data. It's more for like retrospective analysis to see, where we got the fills. So I think, yeah, maybe like once every 15 minutes should be more than enough. And that way we can avoid some rate limits on Hyperliquid. Guys, today I joined Hyperliquid on my Livestream account, and so there is something very interesting. I got so many friend requests from Hyperliquid support chat, Hyperliquid official support, quick support. Like everyone wants to be my friends, and like I assume they're all scammers. Like why would Hyperliquid support want to become your friend? All right, like let me chat with one of them for fun and see what they say. Hello, is this Hyperliquid support? Of course, this is a scammer, most likely, right? Okay, yes, now they replied, and while we wait with Claude, right, we can just be annoying and English. I have a question. I can't deposit to my Hyperliquid account. Can you help me? You know what I should do? I should create a chat bot that replies to these people so they waste their time, and then because most likely there's like a probably human being, replying to these things, or maybe it'll be two chatbots, who knows? But it's crazy, it's crazy. Like the first, like, okay, first applicant, okay, I would like, cool, they want to be my friend, they want something from me, but I I joined today and I got 20 people. Uh, I, I'm going to pick it up, okay, guys? I'm going to pick it up. And okay, let's wait for Claude. Okay, what the hell? Why would they call you? Sorry, let me get my microphone. All right, you know what, guys? Like, it's too much work. I'm too tired for this, actually. Oh my God. Like, they're trying to call you right after you ask for help. What the hell's going on? Guys, I don't know. I have like this internal urge, like not to do something bad to them, right? But to do something that makes their job very, very difficult. Like very difficult. And I'm thinking like a chat bot that would waste a lot of their time would be a great start. So I'm gonna make like, I don't know, 100 fake users on Hyperliquid on Discord, right? And they would all get contacted by this, by all these, scammers. And then all these chatbots would be like, yeah, yeah, I need help. Yes, please help me. And then eventually they just suddenly stop. And probably I will need to report all those people to Hyperliquid because, uh, yeah, that's so crazy. Check it Boga on YouTube. He has created AI voice farm of 1,000 plus AI agents calling and wasting time of Indian scam. Yeah, I think I should I should think about that too. The thing is, on my Discord server, right? On my own Discord server, there are a lot of people trying to impersonate me. Yes. 1 second. Still searching. Like on my Discord server, right? People report to me, "Hey man, there's someone with your profile, and he tried to ask me if I wanted to subscribe to a Signal services." Uh, So there's a guy, I'm farming Cascade private beta where the gold spread is $11 plus. Can we catch these spreads with this bot? Uh, well, I don't know where exactly you're doing that, but I've also been arbitraging gold and I had spreads as high as 20 or 30, right? I caught such spreads in the past, and yeah, it's definitely possible. I just don't know like on which exchange you trade, but this is like what we're doing here on our live stream. We're trying to catch spreads on any asset basically and try to make money by arbitraging the price differences. Uh, I'm having some uh, too many request errors in the dashboard. Uh, is it possible that it's caused by the request OHLC history, or what other issues, or what other reason can it be? So we're also trying to fix the rate limits, and then like we're good for today. Okay, so they're trying to call you You know, I'm gonna check Kitboga on YouTube, and I think having these AI agents that call and waste time would actually be great. I think I would do it. I have such, I don't know, it's so like so sad, but it also makes me so angry that like when it happens on my server, I feel so sorry for the members who join. That's the reason why my Discord is not public anymore, right? Because before I had like 400 members on Discord, and I just felt bad for all those scammers because every week some new scammer would join and they would all contact my members. So that's why I took my Discord private and like offer it to, subscribed members. Because like deep down, I would also love to have like a public Discord where people can like use some information for free, and like if you pay, then you get like extra perks, and that you could like build a large community. But I can't afford that because there are just too many scammers, so I just closed it down. And when I had to deal with these like scammers like last year, I really had to kick out like 5 or 10 people every week just to maintain the Discord community. So I would really like do something about it, like to waste their time and whatever. Because yeah, the crypto space is like full of scammers. It's so crazy. And I want like what the Discord, like the Discord team can do about this, like to, somehow deal with these scammers. Because scammers are everywhere. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on Discord. So I guess it's it's nothing you can do about it other than hmm, yeah, then waste their time and make their life difficult. Okay, so here we have, the reason why we might get rate limited. Okay, so we reduce the snapshot counts to once per 10 seconds. Uh, yes, please. Okay, so here we're just reducing the number of requests, so we don't hit our rate limits. All right. So let's remove our new friend. Oh, he removed us. Okay, so hopefully next Monday we'll fix the JP225 issue. Like the position is like really big, right? We're like minus 1,500 here, we're plus 1,200 here. The floating loss is like still pretty big. Yeah, but I hope in 6 hours the market's gonna be closed, so we won't have to worry about that, and uh, I will have to investigate. So yeah, so let's just apply the new dashboard changes, upload the new code, and we'll be good. Okay, so the new change has been applied. Let's check my new strategy here. So here, oh yeah, we've been trading EURUSD the entire time, and it looks like, yeah, we actually have quite a lot of EURUSD. I realized that's already quite a big position. So if we check the exposure here, we have 18,000 worth of USDs. Um, and then if we look at the exposure and check the trades, so our entry price here is 0.002, which is pretty good, right? This is like a good entry price to enter at. It means that if we exit at 0 or -1, we're gonna make like $30 per lot or $20 per lot. So this is fine. All right, thanks for the stream. Enjoy your weekend. Yeah, thank you too. Enjoy your weekend, and hopefully I'll see you next Monday. Um, So yeah, all the trades are working quite okay. So actually I can like stop the script now. I will deploy it on my remote server later in the evening. My exposure is fine. And now we don't have to, trade on this server anymore. So here I can remove my dashboard. And so I'm gonna clean up some of the files, right? So here I'm going to, create some docs. So here, uh, I will move the change log to actually change log can stay. Uh, can you move version into reading bot core folder? So we're going to add the version into trading bot core. Uh, uh, and then I don't need to like run this anymore. And actually, I don't need these two. So this is actually all we need. Uh, and this is some empty file that we also don't need. And so we move the dashboard. And yeah, so I will upload this on GitHub, and like later in the evening, all the members will have the new version Discord. So yeah, it was a great week. We've done a lot, and so unfortunately the profits weren't as great, but Monday was amazing, right? On Monday, how much did we make on Monday? So thanks to Monday, we actually had a very great trading week because we made $1,000 on a large account. So in total, like we're still in great profit. But yeah, then the remaining days weren't as exciting. So, but you can't have a good day every day. So this is part of trading. So at least, on the bad days, like you're like break even or in a slight loss, and the good days you're in profit. So compared to normal trading, uh, you don't have winners, losers. So it's like still easier to handle this type of trading, right? Like think about it. If you like trade like normally, Monday in profit, Tuesday minus. A lot of traders are like losing money in trading, so that's even worse. So the only sad thing is that not much is happening, and like when not much is happening, we can just take our time and just work on the strategies, code, and make the things better. Okay, so let's continue with this last change, and I guess we're done soon. Okay, great. So we cleaned it up a little bit, and yeah, I think I should also like add like some setup file. I don't work on a change log that much often, right? I think change log is kind of useless. I think better thing to do is just yeah, provide like a short guide or tutorial how to turn on the trading strategies. And hopefully on Monday, everything will be fine. Not a very nice number now. Okay, so let's just leave this running. And on Monday, I'll deploy a new strategy, right? So this week I haven't deployed the new trading panels and so on the large server, but starting next week, we're going to trade all the strategies using the new control panel and the new scripts. Okay. This is taking a bit longer than expected. It's just a minor, like, moving files to a different folder. But it's already taking like 3 minutes. So, but yeah. So everything is ready. So we can push it. Let me like also uh, run the scripts one last time to make sure that they actually work. So for last time, let me run dashboard and let me also run this one. So the control panel works. So everything should be fine here. If we run dashboard, uh, so that is having an issue. So so let's also try to fix this so we can deploy it. When I run run dashboard.pyw, I get this error. Okay, let's look at the total P&L now. So if we look at all symbols, I think my dashboard's not running yet, so we still need to finish for this to work. So maybe I forgot to commit the file yesterday, so I don't have run dashboard like included. So probably I didn't commit it, so I will probably need to create yeah, a new run dashboard for this. So yeah, unfortunate. So I think with Claude we can like uh, create just a new file, and then to at home I'll check if I forgot to commit that. Okay, so Almost done. Done. So now I can try to I don't want run dashboard.py in root folder, just the so maybe we should put it back into like the dashboard folder. It's a minor thing. Uh, okay, so hopefully we're almost done soon, so I can upload the code. And next Monday we'll start with a fresh week, so I'm excited about trading next week actually. Like the control panel is like super nice for trading. You'll see why next week probably once the JP25 issue will be resolved. Yeah, it's always like when you're waiting for last prompt, you just want it to be finished, right? It's like almost done, and then you can start your weekend. So I'm just waiting like for this final thing to be finished, and then we'll be fine. And yeah, I also need to fix the public dashboard. I forgot about that. So we'll discuss that next week. What we're going to do. So next week we still have to work on the control panel mainly. This has already been added. Actually, we can just resolve that because these tasks have already been added into the subtask, so we don't have to uh, discuss it. Or maybe we can just make subtask of. Or I'm just actually going to copy this thing, then I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to add it here. And so this will be our main project for next week. And yeah, let's not forget the 1K account that also we're going to trade next week. Okay, so now let's try to also run the dashboard. So if you run the dashboard, right? So here, what I've created is like it's this little very simple app. So now it doesn't open the terminal. If you click on it, then it will just open the dashboard from here. So this is like a small like visual improvement, right? So you can see that the dashboard here is running, and yeah. So I also like apply some changes on these things. So this is fine. Uh, can you add all necessary untracked files to Git and then push to master? So now, last thing, like we still need to, add these untracked files. So Claude will do, last check to manage my Git repo, and then we can download it, add it on Discord, and you guys can, try and enjoy the code, and then give me your feedback. Probably could have added the things myself, but sometimes even if I do things myself, I like Claude doing all the final checks because sometimes when you move files or change files, uh, that can cause like the app to crash. So this is like just to be safe. So this is done. All of it is done. And we're waiting for a Bitcoin arbitrage for next week. Yeah, I feel like Claude's taking quite a long time. Like it's so at least it knows like that the init and dashboard server are new. So this has to be added. So hopefully that will be added soon. Beautiful. So yeah, this has been added. We can oh, and the push has been done. And these are some old untracked files which are not important. Nice. So everything has been pushed. Everything's fine. Okay, so now guys, if you have access to Discord, I will now download the code from GitHub, and you guys feel free to check it out for yourself. I will add some comments, and hopefully you'll give me some feedback on the new code. So today is the 19th, so 2026, 0619, and let's now add this to Discord. So let's go to resources, and then yeah, in the evening I will reply to some of your requests later. So let's go to just resources. Yeah, I just renew resources. New version of Hyperliquid Arbitrage bot is out. Changes trading bot removed REST calls from amend loop, should be much faster now. By default is able to quote two-sided quotes if the spread is large enough, which means buy and sell signal at the same time. So these are changed for trading bot, Hedgebot, now fully works as event driven using user fills on Hyperliquid. Double checks exposure every 15 seconds. And hedges in case there is a discrepancy. And then we have the control panel. Added a control panel where you can manage multiple strategies from a single GUI. When please be careful, this GUI is still new and requires extensive testing. You can run it by starting what is the called run control panel PYW. Run control panel PYW. New dependencies. Make sure to install new requirements .txt. And then dashboard. can now be started with run dashboard.pw. Instead of a local dev server, it now uses Waitress, which is a production ready yeah, server. Well, that is basically it, and now let's add the file, and so this is it. So hey guys, thank you for watching today's live stream. And yeah, so I hope so let me know what you think about the changes in code. I'll be very happy to hear your feedback. I will also upload this to my website. And so yeah, most likely next Monday around 1 p.m. CST as usual. So yeah, it was a great training week and enjoy your weekend.